Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Jeannie and it's Jeannie's signature. So today I'll be making this beautiful gown. If this is what you're interested in, please kind of watch till the end. So I have my pattern paper on the table, and thank you to all my amazing subscribers. You all are the bomb, and to my intended subscribers, I say thank you as well. So sorry I've not been able to upload for a while. I was just kind of busy with other things. So I have my paper on the table, and then I'll be cutting the half length, like it's from the shoulder to the waist area. And the markings I have on the paper already is my shoulder, because it's going to be an off shoulder. So I minus 4 on the table, and then I placed the tape like so. I got my bust point, I got my under bust measurement, and then of course the waistline. So the next measurement I'm trying to take there is the nipple to nipple, or the bust span measurement divided into two, and then you have half an inch for sewing allowance. So that is what I'll be marking from the chest line down to the waistline. So the beginning of that paper serves as our chest line, and then the end of the paper serves as our waistline. So I'm just trying to connect the bust span measurement that I measured out, as you can see. So this is just typically an off shoulder bustier. I already have a tutorial on this, but I just felt like let me just do it again so that our new people would understand what we're doing. So under my under bust measurement, I came in by 1 inch on both sides, as you see me mark it. So I'm just going to be joining that from my under bust to my waistline. And then from my bust point measurement, I'll just be coming down by half an inch. All this is just to avert pointed edges at the bust area, just to give it a perfect sitting. So I'll be using my curve ruler to curve that to meet the 1 inch that I marked. Now if you are on a bigger bust, or you have a bigger bust, you can go in by 1.5 inches or 2 inches respectively. Yeah, but this person is on the smaller size, so that is why I'm making use of 1 inch. So we can see that our cup is trying to come out, and so I'm going to the shoulder area in order to get our shoulder dart, so that that place will not be when you bend down, it will not be showing all your boobs. So to that I'll be marking sorry, half an inch on this side, that is going to be the middle part, and then 1 inch on the other side. And then from the bust point area, I went up by half an inch as well, and then I'll be connecting from that half an inch first. You can see that half an inch is to the cup, middle cup, and then the 1 inch is on the other side, that will be having the armhole side. Yeah, so I believe you understand what I'm doing, because this paper is not on fold. It's not on fold, it's a single paper. So when we are cutting out that middle part, we are going to be cutting everything on fold, because it will not be separated, that middle part, but this other side will be separate. So these are the places we're going to be cutting out. So we are basically through with taking our darts. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is just to impute our measurements, and then we're good to go. So you can see that this is very easy, and it's quite beginner friendly as well. So for my shoulder measurement, I'll just be dividing my shoulder measurement into two. Whatever that is, I'm going to be marking. And remember, this is going to be an off shoulder. So if you want to do this kind of, if your shoulder is 7, you can just remove 1 inch or 1.5 inches before marking it. Yeah, so that it will not be too saggy when by the time you had fixed everything you want to fix. And when doing this kind of thing, you need to take the round shoulder measurement of your client before fixing your sleeves. So to this, just divide your shoulder measurement, divided it by 2, then you remove 1.5 inches or 2 inches as you see fit. So I marked that, and then I added back the dart allowances, which is 1.5. That was what I did there. And then on my bust line, I'll just divide my bust measurement by 4, and then I'll add my sewing allowances, and then I'll come down to my waist area. I will ignore the under bust measurement. When I'm doing my final closure, I'm going to be making use of that, but for now I'll just go to my waist measurement, divide my waist measurement by 4, whatever that is. Then I'll put back my sewing allowances for the dart, and then I'll add my normal sewing allowances for sewing. I believe you understand what I'm getting at. So if you're familiar with this my tutorials, you would understand perfectly what I'm trying to explain. Yeah. So if you have watched up to this level, please, and you have not subscribed, please kindly hit on the subscribe button. Kindly like, kindly share, kindly leave comments. Thank you. So I'll be connecting from my shoulder to my bust, and then from my bust to my waist. So we're basically through with the front cotton. As you can see, it came out beautiful. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out, and then we're going to be drafting for the back. So for the neckline, I'm just going to be leaving it straight like that. But if you want yours to have other necklines, you can just do whatever neckline you would want. But I'm going to be leaving mine straight as it is. So let me quickly cut this out, and then we'll go over to cutting out the back. Peace. So what I was trying to explain right there was that it's supposed to be unfold when you're cutting on your fabric, because this is a paper. That is why I made use of a single piece, because we all know the situation of the country. This thing is quite expensive now, so you don't need to waste it. So that is what I'm basically explaining there before cutting it out. And so we have our front pieces. So now I'll just go ahead and place my paper and then cut out the back piece as well. So for the back piece, you just need to add your zipper allowance and then make some little alterations, and then we're good to go. But I'm going to be showing you that shortly. Yeah. So yes, I've already had my back piece here. I've rolled up my zipper allowance, and if you want to make use of a rope or ropes, you can just kind of go ahead, ignore the zip allowance, remove 2 inches from your normal back, and then you just do the needful. So here I'll be dividing exactly what I have in the front. I'll be placing it at the back. Whatever you divided as your shoulder measurement or your chest measurement, anyone you used, just mark it and then take it, and just to make sure that it aligns with that of the front. So I'm going to do my waist measurement, and then I'll be marking my waist divided by 4. I'll add 1 inch for that, and then my sewing allowances of 1.5 inches. Yeah. So I'm just going to be connecting that from the bust down to the waist. So I'll not be opening my armhole yet. It's when I've already joined all my fabrics together, that is when I'll be carving out my armhole for the off shoulder. So now I'm basically getting my dart. Remember our dart divided into 2. That is what I'm marking right there, so that I'll get our dart for the back. So you can see that the back piece is pretty much easier than the front piece, as always. So I took a 1/2 inch for my dart, which is 1 inch, and then I'll be slanting it all the way to meet it at the top right there. Like so. So we have our back ready. So I'll be leaving it straight as it is as well. So basically what I was explaining too is that I'm not going to be cutting the armhole yet. I'll be doing that after I must have joined all the fabrics together. And so in order to avoid bulginess at the back, I'm just going to be going in by half an inch from the waist area, and then I'll slant it to meet my zip allowance. And then I'll be cutting that off. So I've cut that off. And then I'll be coming to the waist area and I'll be slanting half an inch down to meet that line. I always do this because it makes it to sit perfectly well on the waist area. Yeah, just slant it down by half an inch. It won't affect the sewing allowances or anything. Yeah. And so you cut it out. So yeah, we're basically through with both the front and then the back pieces. So what I'm going to be doing after this, if you wish, you can cut this out, but I'm not going to be cutting this out. I'm going to be leaving it like this, so that when I want to sew it on my fabric, I'll just take in the dart and then I'll sew it as it is. So I'm not going to be cutting it out. But if you want to cut it out, you can go ahead and cut it out. Just make sure that when you're cutting on your fabric, you need to add back half an inch to join it together. If not, it will shorten your sewing allowance. So but I'm going to be leaving it like this. So let me just show you the front and the back pieces before I'll go ahead and cut it out of my fabric. So you can see. So that's the front, and then these are the front pieces. That's the back, and these are the front pieces. So let me quickly just go ahead and cut it on my fabric and then come back. So I've gone ahead to cut it on my fabric. As you can see, I didn't need to show that because this video is going to be very lengthy if I should have done that. So this is the lining and then the fabric. So for this front part, I'm going to be making use of like double lining. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So from the thumbnail, you can see that the top does not have any place showing where the bust area is. Yeah, that is the way it was done, because I'm going to be applying a method shortly that would create and give us that look that it has in the front. So I'm going to be cutting 2 sets of lining for this, and then the main fabric itself, I'll be cutting that separate. So this is the lining, and this lining is going to be carrying a wadding. If you want to make use of a ready-made cup, you can make use of that. So this paper now that I have, because it was not cut on fold, I need one that is cut on fold, because what I'm about to do, it has to be on fold. So now I'm going to be placing this paper on another paper. I totally forgot. That was why I used it as in not on fold when I was cutting it. If not, I wouldn't have gone through all this stress. So please, if you want to make this style, as in you're watching this tutorial and you want to make this kind of style, don't make use of a single paper. Just make sure that you have it on fold already, so that when you want to do whatever you want to do, it will be easy for you to go about it. But because it was not on fold, I had to take another paper and then cut on fold in order to achieve what I want to achieve. So please kindly take note of that. So this is the side, and then I'm cutting it on fold, as you can see. I'm just trying to trace it out because of the pattern that is in front of the gown. So this is the sides. I have 2 pieces now. Ordinarily I would have cut out one for that, but I just wanted to explain very well so that you would understand. And then for this middle part, I'm going to be having it unfold like so, and then I'll cut it out because that place has to be unfold. It's not supposed to be separate. I believe you understand what I mean. So I'm just going to be cutting this out. That is the middle part. So now I have the middle part as well. So you understand what I mean now. You see it. So when I open it up, it's supposed to be like this. So now the 2 sides that I cut out, I'm going to be using my paper tape to adjust it as if I've sewn it. I'm going to use my paper tape to do that. But if you feel you don't want to use your paper tape, you can just take it to your sewing machine and then run half an inch because you've already added your sewing allowance. So just join in as if you're sewing your clothes. Join it together so that it will become one. So I'm going to be doing that so that you understand the next step we're going to be taking. So I'm going to be taking my paper and then I'll be attaching it to make it as if I've sewn it. So anyhow you can achieve that, please go ahead and do it. So I've gone ahead to do it so you can see we have our bust area already showing as it is. So that's basically what I was trying to explain. So you can see the inside. So it's as if it's already looking beautiful. So because it's a paper, you need to be careful. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to do a kind of slash and spread method so that I would get the pleated part around the shoulder area. So that is what I just want to do. So now around that left side shoulder, I'm going to be marking some lines at 1 inch intervals. Just look at what I'm trying to do. So I'll be pressing it down like so that it will be easy for me to mark out the markings. Yeah, so I'll be taking my marker like so, and then I'll make sure that I take out the sewing allowance because my sewing allowance is 1.5 inch or 1 inch. Anyhow you marked, please just remove your sewing allowance first so that it won't interfere with whatever you want to do. So I took it out like so, and then from that line I can now mark or manipulate anything that I want to manipulate easily. So from there I'll be marking 1 inch and then 1 inch until I get to almost the middle of the so I'll just be slanting down those lines to meet the middle part of the fabric like so. Just slant it like so. So those are the lines I drew. So I decided to add one more line to that, or I adjusted the lines because I felt like it was not what I wanted. So I just tried to adjust it very well. So I have like about 4 lines there at 1 inch intervals each. At 1 inch intervals each, as you can see. So now basically I'm going to be cutting through that. Just cut through the lines as you see me do. I'll be cutting each line like so. Cut it like so. Then you cut it out like so. So like I told you before I did this slash and spread, I'd already cut out my lining because it's the lining that I'll be making use of to guide me when I want to pleat this, so that it will pleat appropriately to this exact measurement that we have before. So that was why I cut out the lining first, because for this now I'm going to be doing slash and spread, so you know that it's going to be altering the normal way the thing looks. So I'm going to be spreading this at 1 inch rather, or 1.5 inches intervals. So depending on the volume of pleats that you would want to have around that area, you can go ahead and achieve whatever you want. So I'll be introducing my fabric, and it's not going to be on fold, it's just going to be a one piece. I'll just lay it flat on the table, and then I'll place and make sure that when you're placing this, you should place it on the right side of the fabric. Yeah, so I'm going to be placing it like so. Just make sure it's on the right side of the fabric that you're placing it. So I was just trying to adjust the camera so that it would capture everything that I'm trying to show. So I'm going to be placing this and use my tapes to hold it in place, and then we can go ahead and cut it out. So yes, you can see I've gone ahead to arrange it on my fabric. So any intervals that you want yours to be, you can just go ahead and do that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is just to cut out what I have here like so. The only thing I will do is that on both sides of this, I'm going to be adding extra 2 inches, and on the lower part I'll just add half an inch. Just all this is just to dot all your I's and then cross all your T's, because we've already added our sewing allowances, but in some cases it would be advisable to leave enough sewing allowances. Even if it's too much later, you can cut it out. So it's better for you to be safe than sorry. So that is why I left some sewing allowances. I left half an inch at the upper part, I left half an inch at the lower part, and then on the sides I decided to leave 2 inches respectively. So that is me cutting this out, as you can see. So we have it already. So as you can see, this is how it looks. So by the time we pleat those slanted parts, as you can see, we're going to be having some pleat-like designs around that area. I just wanted to notch the area where the pleat started, so that when I'm pleating, I will not overshoot. So that was basically what I was trying to do right there. So if you're enjoying this tutorial, please kind of leave your comments, kind of like, kind of share, and kindly subscribe. That's it. And kindly watch till the end. You will enjoy this tutorial, honestly speaking. So you can see the way it looks now. It looks like, what is this? This looks somehow. But by the time you finish pleating this and then attaching it to the fabric with a lining, of course, serving as your reference, you're going to be having some crease like that. So this is the whole idea of the thing. So like I said, I'm going to be making use of the lining. So one lining will be carrying a wording and one other lining will be plain. It will not be carrying any wording, because that is exactly the one I'm going to be using to turn the neckline. But one is going to be with this. There will be one together. So I've gone ahead to do what I explained. I don't know if you understood what I explained, but this is how it came out to be. So you can see that it has the bust area is busty, as in it's showing that there is a bust there. But when you look at the reverse side, this is how it looks from the inside. So you understand what I'm trying to do. So you can see that that effect that I created has already shown. It's shown already. So at the lower part, I just had to gather it a little bit so that it will give it that volume that I would want. So you can see how it came out. It's looking very beautiful. So this is the back. I've gone ahead to cut it out and then attach it with lining and then taking the darts in, as you can see. So these are the darts. You can see the way I did it. So those are the two sides for the back. And for the lower parts of the skirt, I really don't know whether to show you that, but let me just see if I could show you. I've already cut it out because I've had several tutorials on my channel that shows how to cut a skirt, but this is just like is a very good lace that I made use of. So when you cutting lace like this, just make sure you cut on this first before cutting on the lace, and you just so that it will be easy for you. So this lower part is just a straight skirt, which I'll be attaching to the half length that I cut out earlier. So I didn't want the video to be long, that's why I cut out so many other things. Yeah, so we're almost through. I just want to show how I'm going to be sewing this and attaching it as well. So this is the front piece, and then I've already cut out the back pieces as well. I cut it out with this, and then I cut out linings for it, but it's going to be having the full lining. But if you want to do inseam finishing, you can do that. But that inseam finishing, not that it's not good, but I just feel like when you want to adjust some clothes, inseam finishing can be quite difficult. It will be better you do your normal sewing, so that when you want to adjust, it will be easy. Though inseam finishing is always comes out very neat and it looks like a ready-made, and it's anyways, anyone you like using is okay by me, but kindly leave in the comment section which one you would prefer, whether the inseam finishing or the normal closing. Yeah, but like me, I like the normal closing more than the inseam finishing. I do the inseam finishing in exceptional cases. Yeah, so these are the back pieces, as you can see. I'm just trying to show you so that you would see everything. It's just that I've cut it out off camera. And so for the beaded part of that cloth, as you saw on the thumbnail, I used to bead, so I know how to attach all those things. But if you feel like you don't know how to attach those beads using a fishing line or even your normal thread, they have several tutorials on YouTube that you can go ahead and watch and see how it's done. I didn't want to show all that here because I just felt like it was not really necessary. And then for the sleeves of this, I decided to do it off camera as well because I have a tutorial on how to do that. So if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, kindly hit on the subscribe button